Let's see if it'll record. So what do you notice about this problem that's different than what we've had before? Three equations. What else? It has a z in it. It's got three variables, right? So we are not going to graph these, but I kind of want to show you what it would look like if we did graph. Diagram on here. So the graph in 3 dimensions has our first dimension. We can move left and right. Our second dimension that makes it move up and down. And the third dimension goes through the middle of that. That doesn't even look right. To where you can, a point on your graph can come like off the paper, move forward, or go backwards. Okay, so it's 3-dimensional. It's kind of like a cube. Okay, you can move up, down, left, right, and forward and backwards. All right, so these are 3D, but like I said, we're not actually going to graph. We're just going to work algebraically with these. So today we're going to solve this system. So find a common point between these 3 lines by elimination. And tomorrow we'll do it by substitution. So everything today is going to be through elimination. All right? Now, the steps are all on this paper, so we just need to follow them. So our first step says pair the equations to eliminate a variable. So looking at this, what do you think is going to be the easiest variable to eliminate? The x's, the y's, or the z's?
Probably the z's.
Why do you say the z's? Because the numbers are already the same or are 1, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the z's. And we're going to pair the equation. So we're going to put these 2 together. And then let's put these 2 together. You can pair them differently if you want, as long as the pairs are not the exact same. So I'm going to write my first 2 equations down next to each other so I can look at them. Looking at these, whoa, that's not the right one. What do we need to do to get rid of the z's? What do we have to do to this first equation?
Oh, you got to multiply it by 2.
Multiply it by 2, right? Because then it'll be -2 and +2. Yeah. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 2. So what does that make it?
Makes it 4x plus 2y negative 2z. Equals 10.
Very good. And the second equation, I don't have to do anything to that one, right? So I'm just going to write it again.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we make our giant addition problem. What do we get for our x's?
5x
Plus
6y.
6y. What happens to the z's?
There ain't none.
They cancel out, and so that equals
26.
26 is correct. Not what I'm writing. Sorry.
Sure, me out there.
All right, so we have one equation that looks a little easier to deal with. It only has 2 variables. We're going to pair our other 2 together and cancel out the z's, and then we'll have 2 equations with 2 variables, which is what we're used to. So I'm going to write down x plus 4y plus 2z equals 16, and 15x plus 6y minus 2z equals 12.
We all just yelled at
Yes. So now the z's here are ready to cancel. We don't have to manipulate anything, so just go ahead and add them.
16x plus plus 10y equals 28.
Very good.
Very good.
Yes, so we take those two equations that we got, my blue ones here, and we're gonna write them together as a system and then do elimination again. So we'll have 5x plus 6y equals 26, and then 16x plus 10y equals 28.
Alright. 6 and 10.
Do you want to get rid of the x's or the y's? It doesn't matter. The y? Y's will probably be a little easier. They're both at least even numbers. So what could we get that's common out of those? We could do 60 or 30. I like 30. That's a lower number. So do you want to make the top one positive or negative? Positive. So what do we need to multiply 6 by to get positive 30? We're going to multiply it by 5. What does that give us?
That gives us 25x plus 30y equals 26 times 5.
What is 26 times 5?
I don't know. It's way too much work. Find it out.
130. What do we need to multiply the bottom equation to make the y a negative 30? Negative 3. So what's negative 3 times 16?
Oh, it's about
Negative 48. X minus 30y equals
24 to 60. 74 plus 8.
It's gonna be a negative.
82.
it's going to be negative.
Something like
It's
that.
going to be 84.
I was close.
Calculator's a good friend. Want to
And
Okay.
Now we combine them.
now combine them because our y's will cancel. So what's 25 minus 48?
What's 48 plus 25?
Negative 23x equals 130 minus 84.
About one. Now about 50. 46. Yeah.
46.
And then we gotta divide that by negative 23.
Divide
That'll
that.
equal 2. No, negative 2.
X is going to equal negative 2. Look, you took all those crazy equations and got it down to x equals negative 2. Good job. Good job. Now, in this step, they want us to get 2 of the variables. We only have 1. So where can we put that negative 2 to figure out another variable?
Right where the x is.
Maybe up here in one of these two, and then we'll be able to solve for y. Do you want to use the first equation or the second equation?
First.
First, okay.
Negative 10.
So 5 times negative 2 for x plus 6y
Plus
equals 26.
So we gotta add 10.
So that's,
36 divided by 6 equals 6.
okay, give us a second to catch up. So let's see, I'm going to add my 10 over 6y equals 36. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Y equals 6.
That's devil's number. 6, 6, 6. So negative 2. 6.
Let's just recap what we've done so far. So we started out with 3 equations and we looked and decided the z would be easiest to get rid of. So we paired up the equations, here's a pair and here's a pair, and used elimination to get rid of the z's. So then we had 2 equations with 2 variables, so we put them together, used elimination, and we decided to get rid of the y's. So we got rid of the y's and that let us solve for x, put the x back in one of those equations, and we solved for y. So now what do we have to do?
Now we just have 3.
we need to solve for z. So look down here. It says exactly what to do. Substitute the values for the two known variables, so that's x and y, into one of the original equations in order to solve for the third variable, which is z. So which original equation do you want to plug into? I heard somebody say x plus 4y equals 2z. Let's go for it. X plus 4y plus 2z equals, what was it, 16? So I'm going to plug my negative 2 in for x, plus 4 times 6 for y, plus 2z equals 16. Now just simplify.
22 plus 2z.
I'm going to put these two together and get 22 plus 2z equals 16. I'm going to subtract 22. 2z equals negative 6. I'm going to divide 2z by 2 and divide negative 6 by 2. Z equals negative 3. So your answer, instead of an ordered pair, we have 3 variables. So what do you think we should call this?
Ordered triplet.
Ordered triplet. I like to say that. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but right phrase, but I like that. So they go in alphabetical order. So negative 2 for x, 6 for y, negative 3 for z.
That's another word.
Thus, you only have 8 problems.
But it's gonna look like.
Nah.
5.
Okay. We still have like 13 minutes. Do you want to do another one together? No? Okay. That's what I was going to say, homework. Yeah? Okay, let's do number 3 from your homework together. So this is number 3. And like I said, there's no graphing on this homework. You only have 8 problems. So if you want to take up more than 1 box per problem, go for it. Just make sure I can see the whole thing. So what is peculiar about this? There's no y in the third one. So remember, step 1 was to pair the equations and get rid of a variable, right? So we already have a variable that's gone, correct? So if we compare the other 2 equations and get rid of the same variable, so if we can get rid of y, then they did like half of the work for the first step for us. So let's pair these 2 together and eliminate y. So 2x minus y plus z equals negative 2, and x plus 3y minus z equals 10. Now I know that the z would cancel out, but we need the y to cancel because that's what's already gone in the last equation. All right. So what do we need to do to make the y's cancel? Multiply the top one by a positive 3, and then that'll give us negative 3 and positive 3. Okay, so this one I'm going to multiply by 3. What does that give me?
Gives us 6x negative 3y plus 3z equals negative 6.
Oh, negative 6. You were totally right. I wrote it wrong.
X plus 3y
Other one we just need to write down.
minus z plus 10. So 7x.
We're going to add those 2 together.
7x plus 2z equals negative 6.
7x plus 2z equals 4.
Negative 4.
Positive 4.
Positive 4. Yeah.
All right, from there, we can take that equation
You just write it right there.
equals 4. Write it with the other equation, x plus 2z equals negative 8. What variable would you like to get rid of?
Negative.
Z. So what do you want to multiply by what?
Negative 1 on the second.
On the second one. Tanyan says negative 1 on the second one. So that makes it
Negative 1x
minus
2z equals 8.
positive 8. And then we just have our
See what I did there?
7x plus 2z equals 4. Add those together. So 6x equals 12. What does x equal?
2.
2 when we divide by 6. Woo!
There's one part.
Now, what do we do?
Gotta find z.
So where do you want to plug in that 2?
To the, I can't see what it is.
2x minus 1 plus.
Yeah, there we go.
I would do this one, right? Because it's just an x by itself, and then that'll give us c.
2 plus 2z equals negative 8.
2 plus 2z
So
equals
minus
negative 8.
2 equals negative 10. Divided by 2 equals negative 5.
2z equals negative 10. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Z equals negative 5.
Wow. So
Where do we go from there?
So we plug those in on the 2x.
On one of the original ones that has a y in it. So do you want to do the first one or the second one? First one? Okay, let's do the first one. The 2x minus y plus z equals negative 2. So we've got 2x minus y plus 2z equals, what was it? Negative 2. Wait,
Well,
I wrote it wrong. Yeah. Oh, no. Try again. 2x minus y plus z equals what? Positive 2? Negative 2? I can't see it all at one time. Negative 2. Okay. So I plug in my 2 for x, write y, and then plug in negative 5 for z. And then just solve and get y, and write it as an ordered triplet, and you're done. So 4 minus y minus 5 equals negative 2, which is negative 1 minus y equals negative 2. If I add 1 to both sides,
equals negative y.
negative y equals
So
negative
y
1.
equals
Y, Tanyan, you go so fast. Y equals 1. So what is your ordered triplet?
2, negative 5, 1.
Ooh, it's got to be in alphabetical order.
Negative
X, Y, Z. So 2, 1, negative 5. All right. Let me know if you need